Hey, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update about the studio and why you need to keep running your race even though you feel like you're not making as much progress as you want. And if you saw the previous video, you would see that we had the framing done, right? But there's a big step that took place that you can see above here, and that's the electrical. Now, that's not a big thing. You don't see a massive change right now, but it's a small thing that's necessary for next steps. And then all of a sudden you're going to see, what do you call it? You're going to see the drywall, you're going to see the plastering and all that stuff. And all of a sudden things are going to feel like all of a sudden they're done. And this is how life is like we're working on things and we don't feel like we're making a lot of progress, but it's because there's a lot of groundwork that has to be done. There's a lot of measuring, there's a lot of steps that take, and you might feel like you're hitting it and you're working on stuff and you're not where you want to be yet. But I want to encourage you just to keep digging, keep planting, keep sowing, keep watering, keep at it, be relentless with this thing until you start to see the fruit, In my life, we've been posting videos, we've been releasing songs, we've been doing all kinds of things for a long time. And, there's certain things that I'm really stoked about and that we've achieved. And there's some things that I want to be further. But I know I've got to be routine with it. I've got to stick with it long enough until I reap my harvest. What a lot of people do is they'll start their dream and then they don't see the results quick enough. And then so they uproot that dream and then they move it to something else and they have to replant it. And so they tear the roots out. And when you do that and then you try and replant it somewhere else, it takes a long time. Like my buddy just planted a tree in his backyard and it's taking a while for the roots to take root there. And he's got to water it, he's got to nurture it, and he's got to really take care of that thing all over again. And it's literally almost starting from scratch. Not completely, but it's kind of taking a step back. And am I ever telling you that you can't pivot or you can't change? No, but I'm talking to the people that start a lot of things because starting is fun. Starting anything new is a lot of fun, but it's in the editing and the finishing and not stopping until it's done is where the hard work is. And then the scaling and taking it to the next level. In the world of music, songwriting at the beginning, coming up with that initial idea, it's a lot of fun. But then where the real process and the meat is in the editing and the fine tuning and the tweaking and that last little bit. Sometimes that 80% is fun, but it's that last 20% that is so important. So just like how we're working on this studio and there's just a lot of different pieces and there's things here and it's taking time and it's taking shape. And sure, I would have wanted it done yesterday. I would have wanted it last week, but I know things take time and you've got to enjoy the journey. You've got to enjoy the process. Because when I've realized if I just made it to my mountaintop and everything that I wanted to achieve, I wouldn't have appreciated it as much. I wouldn't have grown because while you're going through this, you're growing. And one time someone told me that, if you were given the success that you've had now way years ago, it might have destroyed me or it would have destroyed somebody else or it might destroy you. And it's because you need to make sure that you can grow with it so that you can handle it. Because I've seen a lot of people that have massive success and sometimes the faster they rise and their success, grew so fast, but they didn't grow and they couldn't handle it. And then because of a lot of different things, whether it was drugs, didn't know how to manage money, didn't know how to manage relationships, just wisdom, not having that they fell. So I want to encourage you to appreciate this journey while you're building, while you're on this course to success. Don't quit. Don't give up. There's going to be some times where you're just you feel like nothing is happening, but you don't know what's happening in the background. You don't know what God has prepared for those that stick with it. Proverbs 24:16 says, even though a righteous man falls down 7 times, he gets up and goes again. I said to my buddy a scripture the other time that, he'd fallen down a lot, things aren't working. And there's this scripture, it says in Jeremiah 33:3 that says, call on me and I'll tell you those things that you do not know. And there might be things that you don't know right now, things that you're trying to figure out. Well, that's where I believe in prayer. I believe in the Bible, but I also believe in seeking out wisdom, seeking out counselors, getting advice from people when you don't know. Like another cool thing about building this basement is one guy did the framing, a completely different guy has been working on the electrical, and somebody completely different is going to be doing the flooring. And then there's going to be a different guy that's doing the painting and taping, because you don't want to be a jack of all trades, master of none. And that's where a team comes in. That's where utilizing other people's skills. Like, you don't have to know everything. That's one thing I've realized on this journey to success, thinking I have to know everything. I don't. That's what books are for. That's what mentors are for. That's where courses are for. That's where, reaching out to other people and hiring people, contractors, delegating. So powerful. I want to remind you that a fighter isn't someone who never fails. A fighter is someone who never quits.